What's up, YouTube? In today's stream, I'm going to be designing a landing page for an upcoming tutorial. I just searched for welding companies near me, and this was the first one that came up. So I'm going to take this site and just kind of create a mock concept of a redesign using mostly the same content, but new layouts, and just see where it goes. So I went ahead and created just a very simple brand board for now with like a heading font, body font, the brand color, and some stock photos I can throw in to use for now. And I'll just start laying this out. I'll be using my Figma Styleguide that I start every project from. I'll leave a link to it in the description below if you'd like to check that out. So I'm thinking for this site, I'm probably going to design on a 10-column grid just because it kind of restricts a little bit to where we don't have as many options for layouts, and it allows us to get more creative with the layouts we decide to use. So I have this grid that I'm using on every page, and that's just linked to variables for the grid gutter and grid margins, and so I'll be able to update that. So I'll just switch this over to a 10-column grid for now, and I'll head over to my Figma variables, and under sizes, I'll go to my grid gap. I'll go ahead and detach this one just for now so I can play with how I want it to look. Let's unlink that, and let's see. So I'm thinking for this one, what I might do is like a tighter gap, maybe something like 14 or 12. I'll try 12 for now. And then for the section horizontal, I'll unlink that for a second. That space, I'll probably want, I'll start with something wider and we can always refine. So let me just link to a different spacing variable in here, maybe something like 6 rem. Yeah, that'll be good. So yeah, that's the basic grid. And then I'll start bringing over all my colors. So I'll head over to my themes, all variables. Actually, let's head to swatches first, okay? And I'll just start porting over some of these colors. So this brand color will be this one here. My dark color will be this one here. Let's sample that in. Perfect. Oops. There we go. Dark, add in opacity. I can throw that in. White is still just going to be white here. So these are perfectly fine. And then I'll start bringing over the fonts too. So since the font styles in Figma are pretty limited, I'm using a free plugin called Token Studio to store all my font styles. Everything else is stored in variables. So here we have these font families right now. This is my font family primary. I want to go ahead and change that to this PP object sans font. So I'll just edit this token for my body font family and set the font family to match object sans, and should be good to save that, and it should apply across the board. Let's see. I might need to actually hit apply to document. Yep, let's apply it. Cool. And then these should be the new font. Still set to enter. Let's just see what's going on here. Object sans. Let's make sure that's working. It can't find the weight of medium for this. So let me go ahead and set the different weights. So for this, for the body copy at least, I think I'm just going to stick to, we have regular here and we have bold. So those are the weights I'll stick to. So I'll just go ahead and delete the medium from this altogether. And then we'll have the heading font, which I'll go ahead and set here. And this is the formula. So I'll go ahead and create a new font family here. We'll call this one secondary family for our headings. And I'll go ahead and set this to be PP formula, like so, and create. And then I'll go ahead and set the weight for this, which is, I believe, condensed black. So if I just add in a new font weight, we'll call this one secondary black, and we'll call this set the value to condensed black, like so. Create. So now I should be good to come back to my typography style guide, edit this display style, for instance, and set its family to the secondary family and set its weight to the secondary weight. And if we save that and apply, it should update this display. Yep, perfect. And I think one other thing I'll do with this is set it to text transform uppercase. So it's all caps. There should be a way to get these to auto apply. At least I thought there was, maybe not. So I'll apply that there. And then I'll just go through to each like H1 and let's set it to the secondary family. Let's set it to the secondary weight. Let's set it to all caps. And let's apply that. That should fix that one. Cool. I'll just do that for H2. Let's set that secondary family, secondary weight, all caps. Save that. And then the H3, I'll do the same thing for. So secondary family, secondary weight, all caps. And I think when we get down to the H4, because this font is so like thick, it's hard to read it when it gets too small. So I think at some point I'm going to have to cut it to be the secondary family. And I'll probably do that at H4. Primary family, and then primary bold for the weight. Let's save that. And let's do the same for the primary family, primary bold for H6. We'll set to primary family and primary bold weight. And let's save that and let's just see what that looks like. So yeah, so that looks good. I might, and we can always tweak these as we go, but I might set these to all caps, uppercase, and let's see. So we did uppercase on H4. Let's do uppercase. Oops, didn't mean to apply that. So H4 is uppercase. Let's set, oops, no, I don't want to delete. Oh, I accidentally deleted the token. All right, let me just duplicate it. Call this H5, FS5, and change the size down to something like 32. And go ahead and grab this H5 and okay, that's linked up. And then just edit this, uppercase, that's good. And then this one, let's edit token, uppercase, save, apply. So let's make sure that sets all our font styles. Perfect, all the way down. That's looking good. Yeah, so that's really everything we need for font styles. And then I'll go ahead and set themes should still be fine. I think if we want to take a look at what our themes are, I can head over to variables. We can head to our themes. And we have this in light mode, the body background color is light. And then in dark mode, the body background color is dark. The text color is this dark inside light mode. Text color is light inside dark mode. The border is dark at an opacity. And then inside light mode, the borders are going to be light at an opacity. And then our buttons are here. So this is our solid button inside light and dark mode. And this is our secondary, our outline button inside light and dark mode. So we can always tweak those too, with the buttons, the hovers, all that's set there. So from there, I think we can just start designing. So what I'll do is just copy any page over and I'll just name this home. And I'll go ahead and open this. Let's delete all of the sections out of it for a second. Let's delete these sections here. Perfect. And I'll just call this first section hero. So if we look at the content we have like the best licensed welding company. And I think like every company is going to say they're the best. So that's probably not the strongest headline. We don't join the metals, we engineer them. So like this is kind of interesting, like the word engineer. I might make this heading be something like engineering metals for like the main heading of the site, and just to see what would that look like. Engineering metals. And what I'll do is center it and put that to the center. And if I just open my tokens real quick, oh, I already had it open. I'll switch that to my display. I'll go ahead and edit my display to be something much larger. Let's see what 230 looks like and save. And let's run it. Yeah, so that's cool. Might edit my display sort of letters or line height here. It looks like I got 100% line height, which I want something tighter probably for this. So let's just edit that token, change it to 90% and 90% and save it. And let's run that and just see what that does. So that tightens it up a good bit. Since this is the hero, I might switch it over to dark. Let's go here. Themes, dark. Cool. Let me delete everything else outside of this hero because there's just a lot in there. Let's put the hero to center. And then let's grab an image. What would be a good image for this? Looking for something that I can have text on top of. So something more abstract like this, but also something that's really gonna pop. So like either of these two have good contrast. So let me bring this over. Let's put it over here. Let's try throwing this in. So I'm gonna put this to go to this size here. Try and get it to line up where we need it to be. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's our 10 column grid. This is aligning to 4 of those columns. And to align to 4 columns, it has a width of 492. So I actually have these, if we go to sizes, I have a column folder, column width, and we can set the pixel width for 4 columns. So if I just plug that in there, update that number, then anytime I want to set something to 4 columns, I can just link it to the variable of grid column 4, and it will automatically be set to the right width. So yeah, I'll start setting that up, and let's go ahead and absolute this. That way we can drag it around freely, and I'll move it back behind this. I'll grab this hero, make it a bit taller for now. Let's grab this, move it down. Let's just preview what are we looking like. It might be cool to have the photo go between the 2 words some kind of way. So like maybe if engineering was its own text and then metals comes second, and then this goes right in between the 2 like that. The only thing is the photo's blending a little bit too much into the background, I think. So let's copy properties. Let's see if we can just paste this in. Okay, there we go. Let's see if this photo stands out just a little bit better. Let's see what it looks like in the hero section. What does that look like in light mode? Oh, nope, that won't work. All right, never mind. So this is just one concept. I'll keep moving. Let's see if there's a better one we can do. So I'll duplicate this hero. Let me put this to be full, and let's bring this to the back. Let's make this one text box. Let's align this to the bottom. Let's do kind of like this way. Let's see. I might throw in some like placeholder text for now. So I'll duplicate this text box, change that to be an FS7, throw it into here, just so we have some placeholder text. And then let's grab, so I have some button components already, and they're over here. And it's just a button component with some variants. So like we could take this component, let me copy it And let's throw it in here for a second. All right, let's preview this real quick. Yeah, so see it hovers light when inside dark mode, and it'll hover dark. So the hover is already baked into Figma. And from this one button component, we can choose to, if we want the secondary style, the outline style, and that's all set up to link to our variables. So what I'll probably do is go back to that main button component, which is right here. And I think I'm going to select all of these and remove the radius from it to start. So let's see, how can I detach this? I think it's always tricky. Let's change it to a smaller number, and that way we can click behind this field and hit the delete key and then go 0. Okay. And then what I might do is give it some more top and bottom padding, which I believe is right here. Yeah, so we can just use any of our spacing variables. And these match the ones in the Figma Styleguide for Webflow. So if I build this out in Webflow, I'll have all these same spacings in Lumos V2. So let me bump this up a little bit. Let's go here. Let's go. Yeah, something like that's good. And then one thing I might try is grabbing these buttons. We're using the paragraph fonts, but I'll go ahead and set this to primary bold, and I'll try uppercase. So something like that. Let's just see how that looks. If we come back to, where did our page go? Right here. Okay, yep. So that's good. And then the text for this is just discover more, which is pretty vague, but I'm just going to run with it for now. Discover more. All right. And I think what I want to do is group these together. So Shift A, and that way I can grab the hero and change the layout like so. Whoa, what's going on here? All right, let's see. This is probably set to hug. That needs to set to fill. And this would need to be set to fill. Let's give this a gap. Let's spacings. Let's try 2. Oops, I do that into padding. Never mind. Here's our gaps. Apply a variable, spacing of 2. Cool. This is too large, so let me back this down now. And it might have been helpful just to unlink it while I was working on the design, while I'm still trying to figure it out, but I'll just back it down for now. Cool. Maybe even a little bit more. I'll go 180. Save it, apply it. Yep, cool. All right, and then here, what I'll do is grab the hero and do a gap of auto. And then we can grab this and set this to our 4-column variable. So if we apply column 4, that should align it perfectly. Yep, cool. And the only other thing is I might tighten this up just, or maybe we'll do, we have a large paragraph style. I'll probably throw that in just to see how that looks. I feel like my button component could be a bit taller too. Let me go back over here again. They're all way too short. Let's select them. Let's go to this one. Let's change its spacing to 1. Yeah, we'll just roll with that. Okay, so this will work out all right, I think, for the hero for now. Where's all this extra space coming from? I think it's coming from the text block, so it's just the way the font's set up. So just to counter that for now, I'll just throw on, let's align it with the bottom of my screen for a second. Throw in some extra space there. Still feel like this could be smaller. Let me just back it down. We'll go 160. So I can just edit this token, do 160, save it, and then apply it. And that should fix that. All right. So then for the nav, I think what I'll do, let's make sure this is good. Yeah, we'll just roll with that for now. Cool. For the nav, I think what I'll do is grab, I guess, this logo here, and I'll duplicate this, change this to say nav, give it an absolute to the top, delete all this stuff out of here. Let's drop in some text. Let's, we'll detach this for now, and that way we can just play with the size. 16. Let's set the height to hug. And let's rename this to be logo. Let's change this color here. Let's link it to the theme text color so it changes when in light or dark mode. And for the icon, let's just link it directly to the brand swatch. So no matter if we're in light or dark mode, the icon will always be orange. And then let's grab the logo. I'll hit K to scale that down. And then we'll probably have some links. So I'll just copy this text, throw it into the nav, and let's grab the nav and do align this way and gap of auto to distribute them. Set this to, it is set to hug. What's going on there? Oh, there we go. The width needed to be set to hug. And then let's do auto in here. There we go. And let's center. So let's check out these. So home is pretty redundant because the logo takes you home, so we don't need that. Company we can have. And I'll probably back down the size of this to an FS7. Let's duplicate it. Let's wrap it first. So if I do Shift A, it'll wrap it in an auto layout, and I can call this menu list. And then we have our link, and I can duplicate it. Where did the other one go? Here it is. This needed to be set to hug. There we go. Okay. Company services. And we'll duplicate and projects and products. Gosh, this is a long nav. Projects, products. I'll just throw in blog in there. All right, and let's up the gap a bit. Something like that. I'll go ahead and throw on a spacing. Let's try 1.5. Cool. Yep. So that's our nav. I think I'm going to reduce that horizontal section padding after all. It's just really large. Let's try 2. Let's get it pretty tight. There we go. Yep. Yeah, that's much better. And then I'll probably reduce this a bit. Let's scale it down. Too much. Come back. Okay, and I really like this, where this hero could have went. It just didn't work out. But let me try and bring this up again. Maybe if there was a different photo here that stood out a little bit more, I could try this really bright one and just see what this does. Copy properties. Let's paste it in here. That's actually not bad. I might go let me detach this from the token for a second, and I'll go really large. Throw this text in there. Let's do something like that potentially. And let's make this wider. Send it to the back. Yeah, just something like this over like a traditional hero might be more engaging. That compared to that, I definitely prefer this one. And then I probably will use some border radius throughout this, but it'll just be the small one, like really, really subtle. Might even go smaller than that. We might change our smallest radius value to 6. All right. Yeah, so that's good. I think I'm going to go more traditional, even more traditional than this. Let's unabsolute and let's align everything this way. Then we can take this, essentially this little layout we had going on here. Let me Shift A, set it to fill, copy it, throw it up here, delete the large one, and set this to hug. Well, yeah, that is set to hug. This should be set to hug. Okay, there we go. So that way we get more of like a heading, paragraph, button, and then content. And then I'll adjust the gap between these, which is right here. Let's apply a spacing of 1 or something like that. Yeah, so that's fine for now. And we can always adjust this as we go. Yeah, I'll roll with that for now. This got all messed up, so let me just drag this back over. It's good to make sure your gutters and your page padding is nailed down before we start linking these column widths up, because otherwise I'm having to redo it all. So that's my column width, and I can come back to column width for 4, throw it in there, and now that should be good. Okay, yeah, so I think that this top layout's the winner for now. Just for there's something doesn't feel quite right, but it might be the size. Let's see. Let me detach this from the token. Let's bump it up a little. Maybe not. Maybe bring that back to this. What I'll do is detach the top section padding, and I'll do something custom for that, just to give it a little bit more breathing room off the top. Yep. Cool. And one other thing I might want to do is just like, I don't like how this text is standing out so brightly, so I might want to back down its opacity. What I can do, I'll just back down the opacity from here. I was going to maybe set up a variable for it, but that's fine. Okay. All right, so that's the hero. That's the button component. Next, we have this kind of layout where it's like a 2-column. We have a title. We have some content here. So let's go ahead and build out something for that. So I'll go ahead and duplicate this hero. I'll call this something like about. And for now, I'll go ahead and keep it dark. And let's see. I'll switch the about layout to be side by side. We'll set this photo to fill, which I probably should have did that up here too. Fill. And then we'll set this frame to fill. So that way they're half and half. Why is this not perfectly lining up here? Oh, this is linked to, this was linked to spacing, and we need to link it to our grid gap. There we go. Cool. what's going on here? This is set to fill, hug. This should be fill. We need to change the direction like so. The height is being hugged. This is being hugged. What is this doing? Oh, there's a huge gap now between these. Let's back that down. Okay, and let's go ahead and switch the order. So we have a photo there. Let's bring this to center. Let's section spacing, vertical, maybe throw on main for now. And let's start changing some text. So I'll just copy this heading and I'll set this to fill. We'll change the style of it to like an FS2. That letter spacing is way too tight on the FS2. So let's edit that token and let's change that letter spacing to 0. Save it and apply. And then this little sub header here, I'll probably use something from the style guide, which was this. So if I just want to copy that, and where did our design go? Whoops. Freezing up. All right, let's wrap it in a auto layout. Let's do this. Let's move it this way. Let's change this to be our paragraph font style. Let's back down the size of this a little bit, like 20. And let's add some gap between this, spacing, something like 1 rem. Something like that. And then I'll just copy this text over, throw it in here, and move this up there. I'll call this subheader. And this could honestly be a component if we were going to reuse it a lot. But for now, we'll just leave it like that. And let's see. We want some gap between it and the rest of the content. So this is like our paragraph and our button. So paragraph and button. I'll wrap that together with the heading. Fill, hug. Okay, and then this will be the gap between the subhead and the rest of the content. And for that, I'll just throw on like 2. And let's see. Let's copy this content over. Let's go FS7. Let's tighten this up till we get a good line wrap. Probably will do the same thing here. And for this stuff, let's see how we want to lay that out. I'll probably do, yeah, let's try something different for that. So let's have I'll wrap the heading together, heading and paragraph together in here. Cool, delete that. Add some gap here. And then let's maybe copy this, call this list, delete that, and then this can be like an item. So I'll wrap it, call this item. We'll set the list to go this way, link it to the grid gap, and allow it to wrap like so. And then for the item, I'll just turn that into a component, and I'll give it some maybe bottom border. Where's our stroke? Right here. Let's throw it on the bottom. Let's link that to the border color for our theme. And let's give it some top and bottom padding, spacing, something like that. Let's set the item to fill, and then duplicate it. There we go. let's give these, if we open this up, let's give them all, add a min width to it just to get them to wrap. If we can bump this min width up high enough, eventually it'll force it to wrap like that, which is what we want. And then that way I can go here, go that way. The text inside should have been set to fill. So let's do that. Copy this over. Duplicate the item. Change this. Oops. And duplicate the item again. And throw this in here. All right. Let's just see what we're looking like so far. So yeah, I think what we'll want to happen is make this full opacity for starters, and maybe give it a little bit more sort of top and bottom spacing. So that is right here. Let's try 1. There's some gap here that we don't want. This vertical gap, we'll zero that out. So that way these align a little bit better. And then what I might do, I think I'm going to have to break the grid gap here just to have something that's spaced a bit better. So if we go 4, yeah, that could work. Or another way, instead of having to break the grid gap, is to back down the width of this to, is this 4 columns? Great. We can just throw on our column width of 4, and then the width of this can go to 5 columns, which it looks like that is right here. That would be 5. Let me throw that in my variable real quick. Go to column width, throw that into 5. Perfect. And then that way we can just come over here and link that to our column 5 variable. And then we can do auto here. And that gives us more space without actually breaking the grid. And I might move this over so we're ended up with something like that. Yeah, that could work. I know there's more text here. Like this is subtext for each one, which we could try and throw in. If I duplicate this and if I change this to go that way, and then I select this and back it down to the small paragraph size, and then bump the opacity down, and then maybe reduce the gap some, which, what is that gap anyway? Let's throw in the spacing. Yeah, that could work. So craft it from the ground up. And then this one would be durable materials. This one is, which actually these might not be this. I thought these were the subpoints for this, but that's probably not the case because there's only 4 of these. Actually, I don't even know what these are, so I'm just going to delete those for now. Just to level out my grid, I'll duplicate this. Just cheating a little bit. We'll throw that in there. Yeah, I think that's looking all right. So we have some stuff there. We have the little subheading. I might reduce this a bit. Let's throw in a different photo like this one. Copy properties and throw it into here. Just so we get a good feel for how this is looking. Yep, that works. And let me remove the bottom section spacing off this one. And then this one I'll do section spacing main for top and bottom. Perfect. Okay. And then I know we have this little thing too, but I'm just not going to worry about that right now. Cool. And then we have this CTA. So what I might do for that is, let me duplicate this section. call this CTA. Let's collapse that, collapse that. So I might do like some kind of centered layout because all of our layouts have been left aligned so far. So just to break the mold a little bit. And I may do more of a light section for this. Let's go ahead and delete this guy. And let's copy this text over. And let's open up Token Studio. Let's make it a little bit larger. Oh, I just wish it wasn't so long. There's so much text in here. It's crazy. Let's do center to line. This one I might break the mold a little bit. So usually when I have center to line text like this, I naturally increase the line height a little bit more than I would have with left align. So I'll probably do that. Overall, this like -3% has been consistently too tight with this font. So I'll do something really simple like -1% letter spacing, and let's just apply that across the board. Yeah, I'm just going to read through all of the comments real quick just to make sure. So someone said, if I have a question about vertical trim for typography, is it advisable to use this feature? I don't think vertical trim has browser support yet. Vertical trim is a CSS property that clips this extra space off the bottom. But I don't think it has browser support yet. Is this a real client work or just a concept? This is just a concept work. Any other ideas? Any other questions? No, I don't think so. Okay. Does anyone know the styles variable token he's using? So one's called Token Studio, and that's what I'm using to manage typography styles, and everything else is just native Figma variables for all the colors and the radius and all that stuff. Okay. Let me throw this button in. Let's copy it. Throw it in here. Let's make it go this way, centered. Let's increase the height of the CTA block a little bit. I really think it would have been nice to have an orange border inside of light mode too. So I'll just go into this and go to swatches. No, sorry, themes. Let's go to our secondary, our outline button inside of light mode and switch its border color over to brand. So that does that. And then I think, would like it to hover orange. So let's switch its hover color to brand, its border hover to brand, and its text hover to dark, so that it should do this inside light mode. Cool. And I actually might thicken the borders too, now that I'm looking at it. So if I go to my sizes and I go border width and I increase this to, let's see, 2 pixels, that feels a little better. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I'll work with that. I'm just not sure about the text being so large. So if I reduce this a little bit, that feels more comfortable. Yeah, that's going to be the one. That's going to be the winner. All right, and let's go to our spacings. Let's go here. Let's increase it a bit. Cool. So my thought for this section was to have a bunch of photos kind of just scattered around. So like if I were to absolute this, move it to the back, and just kind of scattered around and maybe moving on a parallax or something inside the CTA. But these photos really aren't going to work when the section's in light mode. So I might need to keep it in dark like that. But then I wanted something to break this up because the whole page has been dark. I was hoping for a section break of light here. So what I might try is light mode on this, light mode on this, which honestly, this could have been, where's my nav? It's set to dark. It could have been set to auto. Probably a smarter way to work. The hero could have been set to auto. The about could be set to auto. And that way, if I want to switch, I can just switch from the whole page to be dark or light instead of going to each section. But so now we get like a nice starting light, and then our CTA is the first dark one we see. And and we can have those photos. I might end up using a solid button here just because like the text is a little bit hard to read with the photo behind it. It's not a huge deal, but it might look better if we just go solid, and that way we don't even have to worry about it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm liking that. And then I'll just wonder if these should be on some kind of grid or want it to get creative and use a 10 column grid. And then now I had to redefine all my column width variables. So it probably wasn't worth it, but no turning back now. So this is a width of a 2 column. Let's go over to variables. Let's go to column width. Let's throw it into 2 column. And now we can assign this to column width 2. Cool. Might throw this over here a little bit. Maybe make it a little taller. Something like that. And then I might use a 3 column, like just varying the sizes of these a little bit. So if I align this here, yeah, like that, and then go here, like this. Cool. And that's my width of my 3 column. So then I can come back here and go to columns and change that to 3. Okay. And then just link this up. Apply column with 3. And then for this one, I might make it like maybe 4 columns, but maybe we go more landscape of sorts or something, to be determined. And then let's scatter these around. Maybe this one's going out past the top a little bit. Maybe there's one over here, right on this edge, doing something like this. And let's just see what that looks like. Yeah, so they're all different kind of sizes and orientations, and I might actually make this a bit taller. It might make this one go up here a little bit. Okay. Yeah, something like that, more or less. I mean, I'm sure it could be fine-tuned, but for now, this is fine. And then what I'll do is copy over some of these things, throw it into here. And let's see, what else? Trying to look for mostly darker ones, so that way when it goes under the text, it's not a huge issue. So if I just copy this and I go here, throw that in. What else? I know we have a lot of tall ones. I don't know if I used this photo yet. I don't think I did. Let me copy it and throw it in here. Okay, and then let's go I'll just throw in this one for now, I guess. Copy and go here. Cool. Yeah, so if we just scroll through, this is our hero. This is the next section. This is our CTA. The photos will kind of go up, and yeah, that's fine. That'll work. All right, and then next, what we offer. Our services. We have some photos and some images, and there's 6. All right, let's see what we can do there. So I'll just duplicate this section, bring it down, change this out to be, the subheader is our services, which honestly, I probably should have done something smaller now that I'm looking at it, and maybe all caps or uppercase, and then primary bold. Like that feels much more solid of a subheader to me. So I'll probably do that over here as well. Let's go bold, let's go uppercase, and let's go small. Whoops. Wait, what happened? Bold, there we go, uppercase. So I cleared it out. Yeah, that looks good. Cool. And then what we offer. Since it's such a short headline, I might go really large with it, potentially, like this. Whoa. Oops, I messed up the wrong one. Okay, let me just copy this. Let me undo that. Make sure this is still connected to the H2. And then paste this in here, delete that. Cool. And then delete this. That can go away. And all this can go away. I might actually end up going smaller on here. So what I'm thinking is, let's make this smaller. Where'd it go? So I'm thinking is some content on this side, and then some content here, which let me just wrap this in an auto layout. Let's set this to fill. Let's duplicate it. Let's switch it this way, and let's set the gap to be our grid gap. And then let's duplicate this again. Trying to see where can I fit 3, I think would be the goal. So maybe if I make this one more column wider, would it fit 3 in? No? 1 column shorter? Yeah, so that's what I would need to do to fit 3 into here. Because we have 6, so if we do that, that would be an option. Another option would be fitting 2 in, which we can do with that, or it won't fit there. We can do like that, which this is kind of interesting because then we're left with less space, which I don't want to do. I mean, we could fill this up really large, but it feels excessive to do that. I don't know. It could work either way. And then this one, it's, let's go up a little bit. Wonder if I put each word on its own line. That's kind of unique. I don't know. Of course, these would align to the top for both of them, no matter which way we decide to go. Like this one, it feels like it's crammed and it's pushing all the cards over, whereas this one, it feels like things have a good space to breathe. I don't know. I might do this. This was my whole goal of using a 10 column sort of grid, was trying to force myself into different layouts. So let's So that could be a card. We'll call this list, which I don't know if I have. How many columns is this? 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is 8 columns. I can go ahead and save that in my variable for 8 columns. Throw that in. And that way we can just link the width on this list to our 8 column variable. Oh man, wait, I messed up somewhere there. What did I do wrong? The width on this list is 1098, unless my variable didn't save. It's definitely set. What? 8 columns. Oh, it's it's not showing the update in the little side panel. That's weird. It's still saying that 8 is set to 800. Whoops. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. I'll just leave it for now. And then so here I'll wrap this in an auto layout. I'll go ahead and set the width on this to 4 cards. And then we can start just copying some text over. So this will go, let's copy this text, throw it in the card. Yeah, I think that was probably a glitch. Oh man, I copied the link. Quick, how do I clear it? Oh well, undo. MG Welding. All right. And then let's bump the size on this like way down. H6 potentially could work. And then let's copy this text. Let's set this to fill. Let's duplicate this one. Let's change this to paragraph. Throw that in there. Let's wrap these two together so we can change their spacing down a little bit. And we can update the spacing. I'll call this card. We can update its spacing to something like that. Let's go 0.5, 1.5. Nope. Let's go back. Let's throw in a quick, which I don't think I've been using the radius like I planned to on these photos. Didn't I throw it on here? I did. Let me throw that on each photo real quick. Radius. Everything else is just so boxy, like the font and this thing and everything. And I feel it's like kind of refreshing to have something just with a very subtle roundness to it. Doesn't have to be huge. All right. Let's set this to fill. Really want to set this one to a fixed width of 2 columns. And then make sure this is set to grid gap. Like so. Cool. And then these, they have read more for each of these, which is like super repetitive. But it probably will need some way to show that this is clickable. That is, this text I might even use my smallest paragraph size just to really tighten things up. I think what I'll do is move it into the photo itself. So if I were to, let's grab this, copy its properties, and throw that on the whole card. Paste properties, delete the image, give this card somewhat of a height, align it to the bottom, change the card to the dark theme, like so, and then throw some padding on this card, something like 2 and 2 rem. Cool. Yeah, let's see what that looks like. Yeah, that naturally just looks a little more clickable. And then we can make kind of like some kind of arrow. Let's do something like this. Perfect. And then do something like this. Great. And bump that up a bit. Group it. Copy it. Oops. Copy. Delete. Let's see. I'll throw it in there. I'll move it up. I will auto this. And then I'll align everything in the card this way. I'll link the icons stroke color to the text color of the theme. I'll scale this down a bit, rotate it on a 45-degree angle, if so. Oh, 45, there we go. Back down the stroke width a little bit and scale it down a little more. Let's just see what that's looking like. Yeah, I think that's fine. Yeah, just for now, that'll work. And let's delete this card. Let's turn this card into a component, and then let's duplicate it. Duplicate, set the list to wrap, set the height to hug. Maybe grab the first card and back down the height a little. Yep, something like that. I'll just type this in. And then throw that in there. Cool. Flux core. And copy that. And duplicate. And let's just go custom. Copy that. I'll just throw in 4 cards for now. Custom. Oh, maybe need to widen this text box a little bit. There we go. And let me grab, so now I can delete this section, don't need that. Anytime we're transitioning from light to dark, I like to use the large section spacing instead, just to give it a bit more breathing room. So I'll probably do the same thing here, at least off the top, is set that to large. So that's good. And then let's grab some photos. I'll use this one because why not? Copy properties and paste it into there. Lost the border radius, so let's go ahead and make sure we still have that set. Radius small. Is that legible? Oof. Yeah, it's not super legible text-wise, so one thing I might have to do, let's see, where's this? I was going to put a gradient on this image, but I just overrode the image, so I can't do that. What I can do instead is kill the padding here and instead add it to this. So spacing of 2 and spacing of 2. And then I should be able to add a fill here that goes from black, add a transparent color, to black, add a solid color, and bump this up a little bit more, back the opacity down slightly, and also give this the same radius. Or if I want, I could just set the card to clip content, and that way I don't have to worry about that. Yeah, so that makes that more legible. And then for the arrow, I might just wrap it in an auto layout. I could absolute it and eyeball where it needs to go, but oops, for now, let's go 45 here. For now, I'll just grab its frame and throw on spacing 2 and spacing 2. And hug and hug. Whoa, what happened there? Fixed width, fixed height, that should have worked. This is set to hug and hug. What am I doing wrong here? Oh, this was absolute. There we go. All right. Okay, yeah, that'll work for now for that section. So we're scrolling through here. We have this, we have that, we have this section here. I feel like I might be able to, wonder if I can tighten this up by 1 column. Yes, I can, and that would make it fit. Do I have, what's that, 4 columns? Let's do that. Column 4. And then the only thing is I would have to change the text on this one to be a bit smaller. And then this one can go to column width 5, potentially, just to widen it up a little bit, make it a little more impactful. Or do I keep this at column width 4 and then let's throw on some, or let's just duplicate this. Let's make this, I don't think I ever even created a column 1. Let's make this a fixed column width for a second. Right there, that's the width of a single column. I'll go back here, throw that in here. Link this back to column width 1. That one, update it. Cool, and then duplicate this guy, move one over to this side, and then turn their opacities down so that we have a column space on each side kind of deal. Nope, I don't like it. I'll, yeah, that's not it. I'll go column 5. Let's try what 6 would look like. I didn't set 6. Here we are. Having trouble here. All right, let's just revert. Let's go back to 5. That'll workshop that later. One thing I might do is just like totally ignore the grid in this section and maybe increase the padding or something so this is indented a little bit. I could create a second page padding variable, and that way it doesn't feel so tight. Yeah, I think that's the solution. So we could throw on a spacing, what would that be? At 80, so spacing 5. So I could just create that as a, we have section horizontal main. I could create a new one called section horizontal large, link it to the same spacing, spacing 5, I believe, which was 80, and then set this to only work with gap. And then I can come to this section and change that to our section horizontal large. And that way we can start applying that across sections. Okay. Yep, so that's good. That's working all right. That looks all right. That looks good. This looks a little busy, but might workshop that later. And then here we have some stats. So it could be cool to do some really large numbers, like one number per line counting up. Um, yeah, might do something like that. So tell you what, let's make this large. Let's duplicate this one. Let's change this over to, where is it? Lost my light mode. There we are. Change it to dark. Cool. Let's delete. I'll call this stats, which I just realized I never changed the name of this to be services. Stats, services, CTA, about, and hero. All right, let's delete this. Let's go fill the container with the width of this one. This one should have been set to fill. That one can be hug. Let's change the text of this to this title. And change this text over. Cool. And then let's throw in some paragraph text, which I can just copy from somewhere here, I guess. Throw that into the section. Guess it's got to go in here. Yep. Although I kind of liked the layout split view. Let's bring that back for a second. See what that should look like. I might try a version standard. So bringing this into here, and then try a version like this where this would be set to maybe columns of 3. And then this would be really large, like a display potentially. And maybe aligning to bottom. Yep. Got that issue again, so let me wrap this. Let me go fill. Set this to 4 columns. Oops, 3 columns. There we go. And give this some bottom padding just to make sure it aligns with that heading very nicely, like so. And I don't like how there's a widow here, but let's see. Yeah, I think this is going to be the winner. Let's take this and just tighten it up a bit. There we go. All right. So I'll delete this section. And then here we want to introduce some stats. So how do we want to handle these? Let me copy this. Let me wrap these together. So I'll call this heading and paragraph. And let's do Shift A to wrap them. This should have had, I wish it would stay linked. Every time I create a new wrap, it unlinks the variable. Okay, so there we go. And then let's change this to go that way. And let's set this to hug. Whoops, what did I do? Let's set this one to hug. There we go. 800. Projects complete. Copy this guy, throw him in there, change it to projects complete. So I'll wrap these together, and I'm trying to see how I want to do this. Wrap it together, make it an item, make it go this way. Line to center for now, auto's fine. This can be set to hug. this can be set to hug. And then maybe flip this. Maybe align, maybe align top. And then add a stroke to the top only. Link this to theme border. Link this stroke. Can I link this to? Oh, I don't think this can be linked to the border width variable. That's, I guess because it's only one direction. Wait, why can't I link that? Center? I definitely linked it for things like this. That's weird. Okay, custom. There we go. No? Yeah. What? Do you have to link each side? That's not good, Figma. Come on, guys. There's got to be a better way. I have to link each side. What am I doing? I only need it on the top. All right. So you can only link border width when you choose the custom one, it looks like. All right, so let's do that. And then let's bump this up a little bit. So we get something like that. And then I was thinking we would just duplicate the item and we would have no gap on, oh, these are supposed to be grouped. Set to fill the width, no gap. We'll call this our list. And those are set to fill. Let's increase the gap on this one to spacing 3, maybe. Yeah, so if we just had a list of stats like this, that could be interesting. And just see 600. Let me go ahead and make this, let's delete that. Let's make this a component. And let's duplicate it, and then start changing some stuff. Throw this in. Oh, that didn't do a space. None of these did a space. That's weird. There we go. And do that. The only thing is there's like a lot of empty space here. I don't know if I like it. The numbers would have to be huge for it to actually work. Which if I just detach this for a second and bump this way, way up, this is about to be bad. Is it bad though, or is it artistic? You know, no one can really say. But yeah, it is. It's bad. Wonder if I change the. You never know until you try things. So what if I was scrolling through here and we were met with like some large numbers? I don't know. I don't think I want to do it. Let's just duplicate that and let's try something different. Let's go more standard. It hurts my soul, but we will go traditional 3-column sort of grid deal. If something works, you know, it works. So let's stack them this way. Oh, this is not my, oh yeah, this is my main component. Okay. Let's take this guy, bump them down. Why are these things doing what they're doing? Michael Scott quote, "Why are you the way you are?" There we go. This should have been set to fill though. Okay, there we go. Back that down. What? It did it again. Why? That should the list is, this might be a glitch. That they should all be side by side. But anyways, I'll just do, what would it be? 3 columns each? No, I can't get a 3 column grid within this 10 one. Fixed width. What's going on here? Let's bump the width up. So I could do something like that, I guess. So I can make these 3 columns, and then I would have to add some gap to this list of our grid gap, and I would have to kill some of this top space a bit, add some spacing of 3, maybe. Yeah, potentially. And then maybe back this down a little bit more, change it to, might try a stroke on this of the brand color, wherever that is. Is there literally no way to link this to a variable? I guess not. Whoa, what happened? What happened? All right. Close preview, play it again. Let's see. Okay, yeah, that seems to be working. I just don't like it. All right, let's back this back down. Let's reduce some of this a little bit. Let's keep this stroke, but let's change it to text. Let's change the top border color to brand. Interesting. Let's change the top border to border, and let's change the text to brand. That might be, out of everything, that might be the best one so far. I don't know. I'll probably come back to this in 2 hours and be like, what was I thinking? But okay, this works for now. No, I guess the reason why I'm doing the outline is because if it was solid white, it would be competing with a headline just because of the size of all of this. So yeah, but I don't love the way things are looking. Let's do text. Let's do brand. I'm just going to stick with this. Stick with simple for now. And I'll even simplify it a little bit more and go text for the border. Yep, I'll do something like that. And I don't love how this grid isn't going to 3 columns. Using a 10 column grid might have been the worst decision I've made for this part. Let's see. Okay. Because we could do something like that, which is different. And I actually like how this kind of aligns with that now. But I don't love this empty gap on this side unless we were to... I might just feature this one a little bit more. I'm cheating, y'all, but it's okay. Wait, I can't. That's the main component. Let's make this 4, and then let's go that way so that this one becomes larger. We'll call it the featured number. Why not? And then these do that, and that's fine for now. Too bad this wasn't Hey, this is totally pretend. It can be a larger number. Bam. That's the reason why. That is the reason why that column is larger than the others. If you need a design explanation, it is not because I chose a very difficult grid to work with. All right. Cool. Yeah, so other than that, let's see. Testimonial section. Oh, these are always soul sucking to build, but I'm sure there's a way to make it interesting. Like every single one of these has a subheader too, and I'm not sure I like it. I might just cut a subheader from a couple of the sections. Let's see what our customers say. Tell you what, let's go to Dribble and let's look at some testimonial examples. I don't want to do your standard 3 cards because I never believed in that. It's like way too much to read. You're not focused on one thing at a time. This is really nice, just large customer photo. Pretty much sliders are a good bet. Bring that over. What else? Something else that I've seen, if you have video testimonials, it's cool is just having one background video and having little cards of the people's names at the bottom and the active card highlighted. So making it like a 2-part slider deal. Which since this is just concept work, I could totally do that. Yeah, why not? Let's do it. Let's duplicate this. Something else I don't like. So this is good, right? We have 2 white sections, then we have a dark, then we have a light, then we have a dark. So it's very much like light, dark, light, dark. I don't like that. Maybe I will make this one light, potentially. It definitely doesn't look as cool as it did in dark, but for the sake of the consistency of the page, that's the call we're going to make. And we'll zero out this. There we go. So we have 2 light sections, a big dark impactful one, some more light ones, and then we'll come over here. And then this will be a dark one. So let's see. Let's, do I want to do a big background photo? I guess we will. I'll go to, this is where I got all the stock photos for the site so far. Let's do headshot. Looking for one on a dark background. Of all of them that text could possibly be legible over, so far this is our best bet. This is just too stocky. Yeah, we'll roll with that for now. Cool. Let's add a layer to this. Let's choose an image from here. I'll look for that photo, throw it on, up the opacity a bit, and wonder if I can crop this photo. Crop it to do something like that, like move over to the side some. Just so we have space for the text. This is really not the best photo for what I'm trying to do, but that's okay. That's going to be way too huge. Let me see. Yeah, that photo's way too huge. But basically some kind of quote here, if I can copy it, guess not. Oh, wow, this is a really weird. Every time I click, it advances a slide. Oh, it's auto-playing too. All right, we're just going to copy one of these quotes, throw it in here. Oh, wow, yikes. All right, back this down. Delete this little subhead. Oops. Where is it? Right there. Move this out of there. Delete that. Let's delete it all. Just go away. All right, quotes. And then whatever we want the subhead to be. Seems like this should be a person's name, but we are apparently not doing that. Okay. They made that. Duplicate that, throw it in here, make it a lot smaller. Cool. And reduce this gap some. I'm going to definitely need a different photo for this, but yeah, let's wrap that. Let's apply our spacing 2. Even smaller. Let's go here. Let's do bold, uppercase. Okay. Let's see. All right, and then I'll throw in the little cards at the bottom so I can just call this text, duplicate it, call this list, delete, wrap this in auto layout, call it an item, give it a background of, where's the background? Fill. We'll do a theme background, and then we'll switch the theme on these to be light. And we'll give it some border radius of small, throw on some padding. The thought is we would have a couple of these guys, turn the list this way, give it the gap of our grid gap, duplicate this one more time. And so we'd have, I don't know why, I'm just going to name her Jill. Jill Johnson, most generic name. And then we will copy this, throw it in. Let's switch this over. Fill. Title. Company name. Sorry if your name's Jill. No offense. All right, so let's say add an auto layout here. And let's give it a fill of an image. Let's choose her image from there. Where did it go? Probably, there we are. All right, so that's set to fill. This can be a fixed width and height. It can be our round variable, and we can anchor it to that side. Add some more gap between this. That means these will have to be wrapped together. Bump down the gap from that. I'll probably make this a lot smaller, like our small paragraph size. I might even do this. Yeah, I think that's the way to go. And potentially do, where's the gap coming from? There's no gap, it's just the line heights on these are huge. So let's go line height. Let's tighten up the line heights. There we are. Let's center it. Can bring that a little bit closer. Bring this up a little bit. Let's just see what that looks like. Yeah, I mean, maybe, just maybe, we will change this to the small radius and make it fill up more of the space. So backing down the padding of this so it hugs into the card a little bit. Let's say 4 and 4. Yeah, maybe that. I don't know. Back it up a little. Yeah, so I might do something like this, and then I might, for now, this is fine. We'll delete these. We'll go ahead and create a component out of it, which is here. Duplicate it over a couple times. Grab this one to make it the active one, and we'll change its background to brand. And push it over here. Yeah, I don't like that active state. All right. Never mind on that. I might give them all just like a top border. Border off the top. And maybe we make it like a very light gray or something. And then whichever one's active, we would change the border color to brand. Which for that light gray, I could have used the light fade, which is here. Whoa, dark fade, my bad. Dark fade. Actually, that should be theme border. There we go. Maybe if I make it a lot smaller. Whoa, that just applied it to every side. Undo, undo, go back here. What did I do just now? Top. There we go. Just want a very subtle little line like that. And then I would have to, so this is 3 pixels. So whatever I did for the top padding, just add 3 to that. So 7. Yeah, so maybe something like that for now. Or thinking this through again, do we do dark mode on these? And do we, let's see, let me detach this for a second. Let me back down the opacity. Let's remove this border. Forget about the border. Set this back to 4. Set this to effects. Background blur. Blur it a bit. And then for the active one, we will not be worried about border. We'll change its theme to light and switch its fill back to the theme background. Potentially, I mean, something like that could work. Let's just do this and then back down the opacity maybe. Nope, that definitely doesn't work. No, okay, never mind. we'll undo all of that and go back to this with the, but with the top being 7. Okay. Yep. And then we can just auto this gap. Wait. Huh. Let's see. The gap is set to auto. That should have put this at the bottom. Oh, it did. Let's change our spacing here to section horizontal main. There we go. And then we can just unlink this top one and just get it somewhere in the center for now. Something like that. Yeah, something like that is fine, I guess, for now. And then this photo is messed up because I set it to crop. So let's see. It's stretched because I changed the height of the section after cropping the photo. That's fine. I'll come back and touch this up. It still needs slider arrows, which I guess could be right there. I actually have those in the components over here. So I could just copy one of these and come back over here. Grab this bottom list and wrap it. And then paste the slider arrow inside. Move it up. Set this to hug the contents. Duplicate that arrow. Wrap it. Set it to go that way. Grab this one and switch it over. Oops. Rotate like so. Oops. And probably change both of these to the outline style instead. Okay. Call this arrow wrap. Give this some gap. And possibly align it to this side. Potentially. Let's try them in solid. Just because they're getting lost a little on that side. Yeah, I might, yeah, I might change that up a little bit. But for now, they're in there, and you know what? Let me delete them. Let me move them into here. Wrap them. Hug. Where'd the other one go? Oh, it was weird. All right, there we go. Yeah, I'll move it into there. So then I don't need this. And I can increase the height of the section a bit so that it fills the screen height. And then we can go next and preview here. I can set these back. Arrow wrap. Set those back to secondary. Yeah, something like that is fine, I guess, for now. And then that'll be the testimonials. Cool. And then other than that, there's like this article section, which I've already done something kind of similar here, so I'm not going to worry about that right now. And then it doesn't really have a footer, so I could do, for now, let's see. For now, I'll just duplicate this one, move it down here, call this our footer, and let's zoom in here. do the little cheat for now, where we'll just take the logo and move it into the footer and make it really large. Let's delete all of this. Zoom up. Wonder if I can set this to fill. Oh, but then it stretches. Okay. I wonder if I lock ratio though and set this to fill. Still stretches. Okay. Let's make this wider. So yeah, we'll do some kind of really large logo in here. Full width type of thing. And maybe put it at the bottom. Maybe change this to the section main padding like that. And then do some kind of like, what do they have here? Just a copyright. They have a newsletter form, which we could do some simple form, and then maybe some links. Maybe we repeat these links. Where are they? Let's copy these. Let's throw them in here. Paste, move it up. Let's do auto. Let's align this way. I'm trying to decide if I want to list the links down. I think that would probably be best. So let's list them that way. Let's change their gap some. And might take the actual mark, which is this guy, copy it, paste it into here, move it up, wrap it with the menu list, set to fill, and go this way, and reverse it. Maybe if we make these all a lot larger, like a H6 style or something. And then, let's see. Let's increase the gap. Nope, that's not the answer. All right. Definitely will need some kind of texture or something there. I can imagine some grid lines in the background of this footer, maybe like on an angle or something. I could make this a bit larger potentially. Let's do K, scale it a little. Maybe if I set this menu list to a fixed width of like 3 columns, and then let's increase our size, but let's not throw on all caps in this case. I guess I typed in all caps. Let's do capitalize. There we go. And let's try regular weight. Increase the gap here. I feel like maybe it needs some more top padding. Throw this on section top small or section top main. Nope. Might just do the opposite with this alignment. Move that way and let that anchor that way. That feels a little better. And then maybe put like a contact form or something in this section. I don't know. I can play with that later. But yeah, for the most part, it's built out. I mean, definitely things could be improved, but I think that's a good first pass, at least for now. Let's look through all the comments. Noah, you said Tim chose orange for this design without any influence from me. Yeah, man. I admire your commitment to orange all the way through and everything. Yeah, I just like saw some orange in these photos and I was like, I guess that'll be the brand color. Some other questions. Do you guys now build in Figma and just export to Webflow, or do you do the actual building in Webflow? I definitely build in Webflow. Figma's just for getting the design improved, because while the client's making changes and stuff, it's much harder to make those changes on the fly in Webflow. Once you solidify your structure and your classes, doing something as simple as like moving the layout or something could be a big change, whereas it's much easier in Figma. So Figma is great for getting the initial design done. Let's see. Noah said, need an eye-burning orange section. Tell you what, just for you, I will do that. Bam, there we go. Actually isn't that bad. Let's throw this on text. Oof. Yeah, it is. Viewing it full screen like that. That is loud. That is very loud. But sure. All right. Testimonial section with 10 column would be fun to see. Yeah, so my idea starting out was like 10 column could be really cool because we can do a 50-50 split, fits into 10 columns. So that's most layouts out there. And then we can do 5, so just making them 2 each. And then from that, like we can do lots of different things. So like if we have a little small subheader sticky thing, and then like the bulk of our content over here could go full. It seems like there's a lot of possibilities with the 10 column. I just didn't do it that much justice in this version. Even like being able to do like a column on each side and some content in the middle potentially could have been cool. Yeah, but I just need to go back through this and see. I'm sure there's room to improve. There definitely is. Someone said I like the outline brand color. I think that's pretty much it. Sorry if I missed any comments. Any news on the next Lumos release? Lumos V2 beta's released, and I've actually just added some adaptive spacing to it today. That's in the V2 beta clonable. And then V2 will be officially finished whenever Webflow releases like the native section mode switching and hopefully variable breakpoints and things like that. Let's see, anything else? Will you use Figma to Webflow plugin for this? Probably not. No, it would just completely rebuild it. Okay, anything else? I think that's pretty much it. Okay, I'll go ahead and wrap this stream. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining in, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Have a good one.